Hey everybody, it's Old Fart, your old buddy. How you doing? Well, add Georgia lawmaker Terry England to the list of Republican woman haters in America. He thinks a woman with a stillborn or dying fetus should be forced by the government to carry the fetus until it naturally aborts itself, because that's what farmers do with pregnant cows and pigs. I'm not kidding you. That's what he said. Well, Mr. England, women are not farm animals. To eliminate a woman's right to control her own body is a surefire death sentence for many women. And to force them back into the dark ages of illegal back alley abortions is too. Arresting, charging, and imprisoning women who miscarry, which has actually happened now in, you guessed it, Mississippi, is a horrendous violation of freedom, which is beyond words to describe. Forcing women to undergo vaginal penetration against their will, which is now the law in Pennsylvania, and is being considered by, you guessed it, Republicans in 11 other states, is nothing short of rape and torture. Giving zygotes personhood while systematically stripping women of their fundamental rights, as many Republicans have tried to legislate, is nothing short of insane, and once again treats women as farm animals. Humiliating and punishing women seeking abortion for any reason, including abortions sought by rape victims, making them wait 24 hours, allowing doctors to lie to patients about their fetuses to avoid prosecution, and making a woman pick up the tab for all of it, like Republicans in Arizona, Kansas, Texas, Virginia, Colorado, Arkansas, and other states are doing, is reprehensible, considering that abortion is still legal in this country and has been for almost 40 years. Punishing people who are doing nothing illegal is about as un-American as it gets. Why even have laws if Republicans are just going to ignore them? Good old boy Rick Pray-for-Rain Perry of Texas just turned down $35 million in federal funds, which will throw 300,000 low-income and uninsured Texas women under the bus with regard to access to health care. Republicans in Arizona are pushing a bill which will allow employers to invade women's private lives over any moral objection they have, not just religious ones, and only pay for insurance when they agree with how she chooses to use birth control. This is a clear violation of doctor-patient confidentiality laws, and once again, why even have these laws if Republicans are just going to ignore them? And this law proves that none of this Republican woman-hating is about religion as they've tried to frame it. If it was, we'd allow Christian Scientists to refuse to pay for coverage of blood transfusions for their employees. But we don't do that, do we? Paying for insurance is part of the way employers compensate employees, even when they use their insurance in ways their employers don't agree with. Allowing them an out over religious and non-religious objections, as the Republicans want to do, is a clear violation of the Constitution. You know, that thing John Boehner made everyone in Congress read out loud on their first day in session? What a joke! And what about a woman's moral objection to being treated like a farm animal? Do you think they care about that? Hell no, to quote Mr. Boehner. If Republicans really cared about life or protecting innocent children, they would care about living, born people. They would feed them, lift them out of poverty, educate them, and give them a future. All the things they're against because it's socialism. How can anybody believe a party that says they stand for smaller government when they're doing everything possible to give the government full control over women's bodies? How can anybody believe any of this crap has anything to do with creating jobs, which is all they could talk about during the 2010 elections. Why are we spending trillions of dollars killing people, including our own sons and daughters, to force democracy on countries that don't even want it, when we're allowing these conservative and religious fanatics to destroy our democracy right here at home? How can they fearmonger against Sharia law and say they want to liberate women in Arab countries while systematically degrading and enslaving American women? As an old fart, I've seen this country go through a lot of changes in every president from Eisenhower to Obama. But I have never seen such disgraceful, hypocritical, and morally corrupt people in all my life. Republicans and their Talibagger spawn are a national disgrace. And they've made America the laughingstock of the world again, just when we've gotten over George Bush and Sarah Palin. The rest of the civilized world thinks America has lost its mind. And a lot of Americans like me are sure of it. As one of my viewers pointed out, this isn't just a war on women, it's a war on anybody who isn't like them. And he's exactly right. Listen to what Pastor Dennis Terry said when he introduced Rick Santorum today in Louisiana. I don't care what liberals say. This nation was founded as a Christian nation. There is only one God, and his name is Jesus. Listen to me. If you don't love America, if you don't like the way we do things, get out. We don't worship Buddha. We don't worship Mohammed. We don't worship Allah. We worship God and God's Son, Jesus Christ. Christians are the conscience of the state and the key to turning the economy around. Forget that this guy's historical facts about the Founding Fathers are completely wrong, and the fact that if Jesus was real and he came back today, he'd be the king of the liberals. And forget the fact that God could turn the economy around anytime he wanted to, regardless of who's in the White House. Churches are only allowed tax-exempt status because they're not supposed to get involved in politics or endorse candidates. This constant playing of the victim card of religious persecution by conservatives and right-wing evangelicals is a clear violation of the constitutional separation of church and state. They want to have their cake and eat it too. Well, I say, if they don't want to play by the rules, then let's bring down the deficit by taxing churches. Wrapping themselves in the flag and hiding behind some twisted interpretation of the Bible doesn't fool me or anyone who isn't a brainwashed fool. But it fools a lot of people, and that's the problem. People who are all twisted up by religion, fear-mongering, and hate are still allowed to vote. Remember that in November. We have to outvote the fools before we end up with a theocracy like Iran. If we don't vote every single Republican and teabagger out of every elected office in the next election, we might as well just bomb ourselves and be done with it. Peace and love, everybody. You know that's where it's at.
Peace and love is where it's at. Peace and love is where it's at. Peace and love is where it's at. Peace and love is where